make sure that we are live. Hello, Ultraviolet Morgan. No. Let's try that again. Hey, tarot friends, it's Ultraviolet Morgan with your another pick a card reading. Today's topic is your strengths and skills. What are your strengths and skills? I'm just trying to adjust a little, get the best adjustment. A little bit higher. Okay. This may be it. All right, I got 2 watching. Same 2. I'm guessing. All right. What are your strengths? This video is definitely going to be shorter than the last one because I just don't have that kind of time today. All right. It's going to be, what are your strengths and skills? Pick one of these and I will tell you about your strengths and skills. All right. Pile 1 is neon pink. Pile 2 is green emerald. And pile 3 is violet. So I'm just actually going to flip them over so the words are gone and you can focus a little more on the colors. Just focus on the color. There we go. Give you just a few moments to choose one of these 3 and we'll begin. Okay, 3 breaths. At this time, I'm assuming that you all have selected your pile. So for those who have selected pile 1, which is the pink pile, we shall begin. I'll leave that there. What are your strengths and skills? So love. The first card we have for you is love. Your strength, clearly, comes from your heart and is centered on kindness, benevolence, sharing, receiving, love. Ace of Wands, Queen of Pentacles in reverse, unfortunately, there we go. The Hierophant in reverse. All right. So I feel like your skills and strengths have to do with outside the box thinking, or not with being not doing things by the book, but doing them from your heart. Not really necessarily focusing on the practical or the mundane, but your passion and your heart are really where your strength comes from. And this Judgment card can also represent a calling. So I feel like you do have a calling. Let's see some of your other cards. Okay, that's it for that deck. Yes, with the 9 of Pentacles in reverse, 9 of Pentacles representing self-sufficiency. So I do see that it's possible that a couple of weaknesses that you may have that sort of balance out your strengths could be a tendency towards codependence and difficulty with those mundane day-to-day detail sort of things. You're really a big picture person. You are one of those people who actually do work well with a team. especially work well helping others. You're not in it necessarily for the what's the word? Credit. You're not in it for the credit. You're in it for, but you do need to be careful about giving away your credit, I suppose, or like you should take credit for your work. You can't always give the credit away. It's okay to share the credit, with the team, but don't allow other people to, come in, steal your credit, and basically let them level up in life at your expense. So, because I do have a feeling, okay, Page of Pentacles. Yeah. Two of Pentacles. Eight of Swords. Oh, okay. The World. Four of Pentacles. And Five of Swords. So one message here that I'm getting for you is that with the Eight of Swords is, a tendency towards codependency and possibility to get entangled a little too much into other people's problems. It's because of your heart. You really want to help people. Sometimes you bite off more than you can chew. You take on the entire world. It's really commendable, but don't forget about self-care. It's really important. Don't forget about having some stability for yourself, a base of operations. Stepping back, knowing when it's not your circus, not your monkeys, or when you're really having good boundaries is really important, especially with the fours that I see. A couple of fours there. Or is there only one four? Oh, well, no, this is four. Having good boundaries is important, and especially emotional boundaries. It's fine to help people, but you're allowed to be happy even if other people are not. So don't let the fact that, you can't save everyone, even though you try, which is a direct quote off of Supernatural for my Supernatural watchers. But you cannot be responsible for everyone. You cannot be responsible for their happiness. You cannot take on their misery. Although I feel like you have a tendency to do that for my pal ones. I want to take a look at this Five of Swords. I do feel like sometimes you feel like you give and you don't receive the same in return. People don't necessarily, it's like you love so deeply and so strongly, and then most people just don't have, don't seem to have the capacity that you have. And so you feel like it leaves you feeling a little out in the cold. But you resist advice to not give so much because you really don't know how to not give with your whole heart. But you do need to keep a piece for yourself. And here, the Four of Swords in reverse, again, well, that's the Four of Pentacles, but is telling me that you do need to take care of yourself. You need that rest and recuperation. Three of Cups, also, you need your support system. And remember that only a small number of people close to you are really going to be able to, give as deeply as you. Most people are simply just not going to be able to extend the same amount of emotion, effort, and heart out back to you. Okay, a lot of people are just they'll say thank you and then they'll move on. They're not gonna. People will not necessarily feel the same personal connection that you feel. All right, here's the Strength in reverse. What else do we have? 5 of Wands. Five of Swords. Again, right next to the 5 of Swords. Pretty much just reiterating that message. And the Emperor. I'm running out of space where you can see the cards. So, unfortunately, I'll just have to layer them a little bit. Emperor. Okay, so with the Strength in reverse, so for you, your strength really, I mean, look at how she's got this heart here. Your main strength is the strength of your heart, which can be easily sort of damaged, easily sort of wounded, bruised, and bashed up a little. You need to really watch for burnout, for compassion. What is it called? Compassion. Ooh, there's a word. It's burnout, compassion fatigue. Yeah, you just need to be very careful of that. Now, like, you do have resiliency, so I don't want to say that you don't, but you just have to be kind to yourself. All right, 5 of Cups in reverse basically tells me that you do have a real ability to I feel like you definitely probably are or should be working in a field of like human services. I could see maybe working with hospice. I feel like you have an ability to hold space for people, to allow people to be in touch with their feelings, to grieve. Yeah. 6 of Pentacles. Just that you're very giving again. And the Death in reverse, which, yes, again, confirms that I can see you really being a person to really help people through their grief, to just feel like you have you even maybe feel like you have an endless capacity for helping others. Like the more, and even for pain. But I do feel like you don't necessarily know your limits all the time. That your heart can stretch quite a lot, but I feel like you do have a tendency to overextend and to not be overly careful with those boundaries. Again, with the Judgment card, this does feel like this is a calling for you. And the Ace of Pentacles. So I do feel like this strength, and I feel also like probably you don't have never really valued that as a valuable skill. Loving people as a skill, where that could be a profession that could make you money. And it does seem at odds to think about money and love, and but I do see this as a kind of work for you, that a field, a career, and really, I mean, with the way that your heart is and the way that your compassion is and the way that your the way that you're the way that you connect with people in a very personal way, and the way that you give to people, I feel like not only is it a calling for you to be in sort of a human services type of field or social work type of field, that many other fields could actually be really damaging and harsh and really difficult for you. So business and things that are extremely competitive are going to be really, really, really difficult and damaging for you. So I would step back from that concept. Again, with the Judgment in reverse. So again, with the calling to... With it in reverse, I feel like that really matches what I was just saying as far as needing to really avoid more harsh workplaces, more competitive workplaces, avoiding your calling. This gives me like a Jonah feel. Like in the Bible, Jonah was being called and he ignored it, and then he got swallowed by a whale, and basically he couldn't avoid his calling or his destiny or whatever. So I do feel like that you're probably taking the long way around. And I felt mainly that for those in pile 1 that you really haven't honored or appreciated love as a gift, a talent, a skill, as a strength. Okay. And we have 48, financial discipline. That's really interesting. Now, what comes to my mind with this financial discipline is that I studied human services, and when I did my internship, I actually ended up working for a company that helps people with financial difficulties. It's a community action agency. They were founded by President Carter, I think, back in the day. But so they help people with budgeting. They help people with avoiding foreclosure. They help people with homelessness. And I was in the financial department. So interestingly, yes, they're, and obviously people need help financially very often. So as much as they don't really feel like they go together, they often very much really do. Since this is a reading about your strengths, I feel like probably that you also do have a strength with financial discipline. And maybe it never really occurred to you any way that you could integrate those two. So there is a suggestion. Also, you could possibly work for a nonprofit or any other type of human services agency. They all do need financial workers. Yeah. So let me see. I remember Soul Plan, the fated life versus the destined life. It's really interesting because as I was talking about right here with the fate versus, or with, kind of having this calling, this is asking you to remember before you were incarnated in this incarnation, what the plan that you made for yourself, what it was that you wanted to do here. And I do feel like, that you did make a plan, and it did involve having this big open heart. And you've probably bruised that a few times in your life, and felt like maybe that it was a weakness. But this is here to let you know that it is, in fact, your strength. Right? Music, harmony, very interesting. Music really, obviously, just goes right with the heart, and I think it's a really interesting combination here. I do feel like my pal ones have a very interesting, unconventional destiny, especially with so much so many of these judgment cards. I just feel strong that there's an unconventional, and we're going, we have music and emotion and financial discipline. There's really some unusual combination and blend of things that you're meant to do. Gaia's garden, fruition, abundance, and reaping what you sow. And then we have the lady in the mirror, reflection and non-judgment. So, wow. I wonder if this possibly has anything to do with actual, like, gardening. For some of you, it could be. This is really interesting because literally the person that was my boss when I was in the financial program was, her background was in horticulture, and she eventually went into that as a business. So it's really just kind of pulling at all these things for me. I may have to make this video a two-parter because I don't think I'm gonna have time to get through all three, which really sucks. I don't want to have to cut the videos or the readings short. But so, overall for my pile 1, again, with the music, the garden, there's a deep, deep empathy, a lot of reflection, a deep inner world, a huge heart, a huge capacity to hold other people in their pain and their loss and their grief, and also help them through really practical financial matters. Even though we did see some difficulty with more mundane things. However, I feel like, it could be that you have a really, basically you understand financial issues, again, in the big picture. You understand the concepts and can really guide someone through those. Whereas the nitty gritty, maybe things break down a little bit in that area. But I feel like in my case, I have had times in my life where I was very financially disciplined and other times where I wasn't. So I feel like it's a capability that you have, although it's possible that you don't always practice it with some of the indications of the other cards. But in general, I would say that you have quite a few gifts, and I feel like most of them you either are not fully appreciating or even have sort of forgotten about. So that is the reading for pile 1. Let me know what you think. If you chose pile 1, if you chose the pink pile, let me know your thoughts on that down below in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. All right, let this one go. And we will move on to pile 2. And let's see. Man, there's a lot of cards. Let's see. Pile 2. Oh, anybody want to volunteer to do timestamping? I'm always forgetting to do the timestamps, even though I mean to. Pile 2, Emerald Green starts now, whatever the timestamp says at this time. Oh, so I rearranged, for those who didn't watch Pile 1, I rearranged some of the card orders, and for some reason, Pile 1, I forgot to do so. So let's see what we have. Ooh, desires. Ooh, what are your strengths? We have desires, goals, passion, craving, and fulfillment. So I feel like for my Pile 2s, you are real goal setters. That you have a passion, you have really strong, sorry, here, let's move that up here so you can see that better. Really strong, passionate ideas about what you want to do. Deep cravings. Just basically a go-getter. Let's see, and 63 parenting. So it may be that if you have children, or even if you don't, that parenting is a strength of yours. that, taking care of children or even giving people guidance of any age, caretaking. So I see someone who's really passionate and goal-oriented and, what's the word I want? Ambitious. And so, like, as a parent, I see you being a very involved, like soccer mom type of parent, or, you would set goals with your children. You would teach them how to be responsible. You would give them chores and responsibilities and teach them how to be contributing part of a family. And you would teach them, at the right age, how to budget their money and how to just, you would be a real, I feel like you would be having them in after school activities and also, teaching them to reach for their goals. You would be planning ahead for their college, just helping them to know, what they want in life and how to get it. And willing to really go the distance and willing to face any challenge and never give up, no matter what. Got quite a few cards here. Yeah, I definitely see you as a real, So for group 2, for my emerald green, I see a group of people who are very social and very, very grounded, very practical. Even though you have dreams and goals, like you're very, you're going to be setting SMART goals, which are whatever, specific, and I don't remember what M is, but they're, time bound, I see you being, very social, very involved in things. Ooh. So this 7, this is like by any means necessary. And what came into my head was the mom from the Goldbergs, Beverly Goldberg, just really willing to do whatever to kind of make sure that you're achieving your goals and that your children are achieving their goals and getting where they want to be, and never taking no for an answer. King of Cups, gorgeous. You see how glorious that is? It also looks like Jesus, not gonna lie. The Artist, okay? It's not a card I know. What's the Artist? Ace of Cups. So lots of emotional, creative. 7 of Cups. All of your desires. Oh man, definitely someone's going right after their desires with alacrity, with speed. 8 of Wands. 7 of Wands. You're willing to fight any battle. You're willing to do whatever it takes. You are just seeing a person who does not take no for an answer. Also, there's a TV show called Rebel, which is based on the life of what's her name? There was a movie. There was a movie named after her, and I cannot think of it. Anyway, the character of Rebel, she doesn't take no for an answer. She doesn't care if she is annoying, if people don't like her, or whatever. She just keeps at them until they give in to what she wants, but she's not doing it for herself. She's doing it for a greater purpose. She's, an activist. That's the word I want. So, Aaron Brockovich. Okay, so kind of like a feeling a real Aaron Brockovich, don't take no for an answer, fight for a bigger cause, being an advocate for other people, and really, really following your passion. Now, what was I going to do? I know I was going to come over here and figure out what is the deal with the artist card that I never have heard of. The artist is an extra card, 23. The artist is a vessel of creation. This card signifies mankind and shows when you need to open to the knowledge that is available if you stop and set aside the distractions of the human condition and listen. Okay. Visionary, interpreter, creation, passion. So clearly, that's a pretty straightforward card as far as strengths. You have passion, and this is also mentioned passion, and creation, and being a visionary, and an interpreter, possibly actually being a literal artist. If so, I feel like like if you were a painter or whatever it is you're creating is going to be very full of those passions, very expressive, very strong, dramatic, beautiful. This card signifies mankind and shows when you need to open to the knowledge that is available if you stop and set aside the distractions of the human condition and listen. That's all super deep. Super deep. 7 of Cups, which I'm pretty sure, did I not just see that? 7 of Cups. All right. I do see that you are very capable of doing many things at once, having your finger in a lot of pots, keeping a lot of things going. The sun burning very bright. Ace of Cups, which, did I not see that right there? Ace of Cups. Very, very creative, very passionate, very soulful, meaningful. The Wheel. So with the Wheel, again, we have the rhythm. We have passion and rhythm. And also it goes along very well with the artist because the wheel, we have color wheels, we have palettes, lots of things that are, with the wheel. The Devil card. The Devil card is not always bad, and the Devil card really can speak to passion. The Knight of Swords in reverse. So the Knight of Swords is also a pretty passionate, move forward kind of card. So in this position, with it being reversed here, I'm feeling like probably that you have some self-doubt when it comes to all of these amazing things. Occasionally, so I'm feeling so much of like nothing holds you back, and you just are so, forward thinking and forward moving. So the Knight of Swords is a little bit of a mystery to me. Temperance being a more calm, balanced type of card. So maybe it's just indicating that you do know a little bit when you need to take a step back and do healing for yourself. And with the pile 1, I felt like really had a person who was really overextending themselves and not having the greatest boundaries. But here with you, I feel so far like you are really pretty good at knowing sort of when to pull back, when to move forward, when to pull back, when to much better at that sort of balance and keeping things at more of an even keel, not burning yourself out, not... Okay, well, and then we have the Nine of Swords. Okay. I feel like you probably are pretty good at taking your difficulties and your those strong emotions and transmuting them into something really beautiful, into a passionate work of art or some other type of creative expression. What else do we have? Five of Wands. Wow. So these cards are showing quite a little bit of difficulty in 10 of Wands. I did say that you are a person with a lot on your plate. And so now suddenly a little bit darker side comes out of a really lot of... It could be maybe that you are really good at managing a whole lot of stress. And which this actually, if you're a parent, being able to manage all of this is excellent, because you're going to definitely... It's the hardest job you'll ever love, kind of thing. Five of Wands, yeah. I do get the sense that you are really good when you're being challenged, when you're pushed up against the wall. You know how to take stress and use it for the better, or for towards a positive end, because of this passion and that you have. And also, this is I'm pretty sure this is the first chakra. So you probably have a really strong first base chakra with the red-ish, brownish. Okay, activated earth. Again with the base chakra, with the grounding. Power places, ley lines. Trust where you're led. Yeah, I do get this sort of sense that you know how to be quite grounded, even though you are goal-oriented. You're goal-oriented. You're not a dreamer. You're a doer. You set your goals, and you stay grounded, and you allow, the pressure, the stress, the even the conflicts and everything to just kind of charge that passion in you to move towards it, to basically not be not let anything stop you, kind of a thing. What else do we have? Dreamtime creation. I just said you're not a dreamer. What I mean by that is you are, you have the artist as well. But you're not a person who just lives in their head and doesn't move. You move on your dreams. You move on your creations. If that sort of makes sense. Then we have the Dream Walker. Wow. Okay. So as I'm holding these dream cards, I'm like, you're not a dreamer. And you're going, what? Yes, I am. But you are a person who really knows how to make your dreams a reality, is the whoa. And then we have the Fire Prince, optimism and aggression. Yes, I see that there too. So for pile 2, what would be crazy in someone else's hand? What would be impossible in someone else's hand? What would be just a dream, unlikely, etc., in someone else's hands? You're able to take those things and push past the unpleasantness and the difficulties and make them a reality, and have your desires fulfilled. And I see so much like just emotion and passion and just bright, burning, intense, deep desire and creativity and but it's also grounded. It's also beautifully grounded. Your strength, you have so much strength in your base chakra. And that I feel like you're just a really very balanced person. Like that the Pile 2 people are both in their base chakra, and you don't live in your head, but you have a good balance in your head as far as, your dreams and your intentions and your goals, and really knowing what you want and going after it, which is a beautiful thing. Some people, like myself, aren't so lucky. Don't always know what they want. So that is Pile 2. I'm gonna do Pile 3, and there's no way I'm gonna get through it. I'm really doubting I'm gonna get through Pile 3, but I'm gonna start it. We'll see what happens. For those who chose Pile 3, gut instincts. What are your strengths? Your gut instincts are your strengths. You listen to your gut. Your gut has a knowing. Your intuition, your intuition is spot on. And you know how to trust yourself. And that can be very important. A lot of people don't. Leadership. Gut instincts and leadership. Pile 3, you guys are strong. Lead from the gut. Wonderful people. You are such a team leader. You know how to motivate. You know how to inspire. You know how to bring up the best in people, and how to, is again with the leadership, the Emperor, how to bring up the best in people, how to make them really want to buy in and believe. You're not afraid of setbacks or challenges. Three of Pentacles. Yeah. Total leadership. Total ability to get everybody in line and see everyone's strengths and everyone's weaknesses and put them all in the right places. And your gut tells you these things. High Priestess. It's just a knowing. High Priestess. 100% right there. High Priestess. You know how to look at things from a different point of view. Get that different perspective. The Devil. Woo, the Devil. What else do we have? Temperance. You just have a sense of knowing, and you know how to lead people. And with the Devil, I feel like you know how to manipulate people a little bit too. You know how to pull people's strings, push their buttons, and you can kind of use that for good or evil. You definitely have a skill. You can be devious, but your friends are lucky to have someone like you to be able to do the things that maybe they don't want to do. Okay, so we have the Eight of Pentacles here with different seasons and different cycles. Eight of Cups in reverse. Kind of trying to run out of space. The Chariot in reverse. Not sure what I feel about those cards. The Eight of Swords. Okay, so you do have some internal struggles. You do have some internal battles, but I think they really inform your ability to see others. You see others clearer than you see yourself. Another with the Eight of Swords. Page of Pentacles. The Fool. The Moon in reverse. King of Wands. Seven of Swords. Yeah, I do. Willing to use some questionable means at time. Willing to step out on a limb as well. Willingness to trust those instincts, even when things don't seem, they seem, you have this feeling and but things don't seem to match up with what you're feeling. But you know how to trust yourself even when it doesn't appear, it appears that you don't know what you're talking about. Things don't match up, but you just know and you trust that instinct. Princess of Discs. Wait, it's not time yet. Things are being woven. Interesting. I feel like you understand, you have that ability too to know when to wait because of being so in touch with your instincts. Starkeeper, cosmic ancestors, see the light by staying grounded. Here's a star, here's a Starkeeper. Yeah, I just feel like you are really, really good at leading others. And look at with this, the King of Wands is also a card of leadership. And of leading them, first of all, the skill to get them to follow you, but secondly, to know where you're going. You're leading them into the right places. You're not leading them like the Pied Piper. Radiance. You have this radiance, and they just, you're like, what Steve Jobs, people want to be in the light in your light. Interesting. And then we do have the Ice Queen, ideas preserved, non-action, entitlement, which goes really with this sort of weight and the Hanged Man. We have this still energy. The Shadow Queen, acquiring knowledge, insecurity, and manipulation. Okay. I did see that earlier. The Metal King, discipline, armor, and boundaries. Yeah, okay. And with this, so I do see there's some damage. Everybody has a shadow, so we do see this shadow coming in where there's this sort of damaged part of you, where you could probably handle some shadow work. And maybe it's possible, you feel like even though you can lead all these other people, a lot of people feel like they are really good at helping others and not as good at helping themselves, or having those answers for themselves. Or, sometimes those instincts, we ignore them because when we're close to something, our instincts can be overshadowed by other emotions, what we want to be true. I'm just seeing some past wounding that really you hide really well, because you have all this charisma and these instincts, but I feel like your gut instincts probably come from some really early, maybe possibly some early traumatic experiences, or some early needs to take care of yourself because you weren't being taken care of by those who were supposed to be taking care of you. And the final card we have is the High Lord of Gratitude and Service, selflessness, humility, conscious action, which just feels like that goes over here. And that goes in with the leadership. And there's this darkness here that you're kind of trying to run away from and sort of be this enlightened person, and which is very commendable, and you're very good at it. At some point you will need to kind of face the darker parts of yourself, and you are going to be able to. You totally have those abilities, and you can use the same strengths that you've been using in this area to listen to your gut instincts in these areas and set aside a little bit of time to deal with those sort of darker aspects that you kind of really wish you could avoid. We all have them, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. Everyone has that shadow in there. And once you discover it and work on it, you'll see that some of the things in the shadow also really help you, have helped you with many of your strengths. So, okay, I have got to go now. So, if I can figure out how to end this. I can't get it. There we go. Thank you for joining me. Until next time, be well.